All right, everybody, welcome back to the Sooner Surge. Tonight, got a special edition as today the awards were handed out for Big 12 awards for OU, and they won many awards. And tonight we're doing our Sooner Surge, first annual Sooner Surge 2023 softball awards for Oklahoma Sooner softball. So let's just get this thing started, guys. So, how this works, just for our listeners, we kind of talked about these awards. Not all of them are majority votes. Okay, we didn't all agree on everything, but the majority wins in each of these, and so that's kind of how we voted for each award. Feel free to put your award winners in the comments below. We would love that. And just put your comment in there of who you think should win these awards. So let's just, you guys ready to get started?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So I'm going to basically call out an award, and then you tell us the winner. Okay, guys. All right. First award. Let's go with the defensive play of the year. The one defensive play of the year.
I'll take that one. Riley Boone against Kansas when she made the Jim Edmonds style catch over her shoulder with the warning track. What made that play so great, I think, is the angle in which she was going to the wall. She had to basically dive head first towards the wall with the warning track there. And I've seen that play only made in the past by Jim Edmonds, is one that I vividly remember with the Cardinals making that play in center field. Boone's was actually in left field, and the ball was slicing away from her slightly. So I think that even made it more difficult. And so I would say Riley Boone with that catch as the defensive play of the year. The Sooner Surge 2023 softball award goes to Riley Boone for the defensive play of the year.
And I think that was one of them that we had all majority on, because that just was a heck of a play. I mean, you could throw a few, like Lions had a few good plays, and Boone had another really good play too. I mean, there were good plays all over, but by far that was the best one. So
Yeah,
let's move
and
on. Go ahead, Jackson.
I was gonna say that play is even more impressive than what Jada Coleman did in the World Series last year, in which she robbed the home run over the wall. That play, just like Jeremy said, it stands out amongst.
I think the
all
play
More
was
impressive.
better.
You're right.
The timing was better on Jada
Timing,
Coleman.
yeah. The moment was better for Jada Coleman. I mean, this was against Kansas, but the play itself was better.
All right, hey, moving on. We're going to go with, sticking with the play of the year, we're going to go to offensive play of the year. The single off play of the year, in your opinion, guys, that we voted on. What's the winning Sooner Surge 2023 softball award for offensive play of the year goes to?
I got it. Tiare Jennings. Huge
Which
hit
play?
against OSU.
The double to left center.
Yes, I agree. Down 2-0, and she delivers the go ahead RBIs in that.
Yep,
that inning.
Yep, that all got started off, I believe, wasn't it, by Jocelyn Erickson?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
and
what
the
was
thing
the
about
score?
that play, guys, if Tiare Jennings does not make that swing, not only is it their second loss, which in the grand scheme of things, it isn't a big deal, but it was your rival, OSU. So that makes it even more impressive. And it was so late in the game. People actually thought they were done for, and that was the Sooner magic.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I think I said 2-0, but I think the score when she was up to bat was 2-1, right?
Yes, it was 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah. So, all right. So, offensive play of the year goes to Tiare Jennings. Moving on, guys. We're going to go with freshman of the year for Oklahoma Sooners 2023.
I'll step in and take this one. To me, this is really a pretty easy pick because she was the only freshman that really got the chance to show what she's made of this year, and that's just due to the depth of the team. And Jocelyn Erickson, towards the start of the year, she played first base because Oklahoma didn't have an answer at first base. And now it's turned into a Sydney Sanders and Jocelyn Erickson mix. And we saw at the beginning of the year that Patty Gasso trusted Jocelyn Erickson more than Sydney Sanders at a point, and now that Sydney Sanders is starting to settle into that role, Jocelyn Erickson can maybe focus more on the offensive side of the ball. But Jocelyn Erickson overall, I think she started off the year in her first, what was it? Braden, you can maybe correct me, like 20 or 25 at bats, batting like 750, 800.
Yes, sir.
She was on
and
a
Jackson. So she batted on the year 379, which is fourth on this team. Only people ahead of her were Jada Coleman, Tiare Jennings, and Alyssa Brito. Batted 379 with a slugging percentage of 701. That's a freshman, guys.
Yeah. And talk about someone that just has a bright future written all over him. That for sure goes straight to Jocelyn Erickson. I mean, she showed so many flashes, and I think the ceiling on her, we don't know her ceiling yet, just because of how much she already flashed as a freshman.
Yeah. All right, so moving on, we're going to go to newcomer of the year for this Oklahoma Sooner team. Newcomer of the year, guys.
I'll take it.
All right.
Sydney Sanders.
Yep, Sydney Sanders. I mean, obviously, she's just kind of been on a tear, and
she's playing well.
Oh,
this is one though. Sure. This is one
this is one where I think you have to give it to Haley Lee.
Well, yes. Here's what I would say about this, Jackson. You can't go wrong with either one. One thing though, Haley Lee has definitely showed more power early in the year, but Sydney Sanders right now is kind of finding her groove to me a little bit. But yeah, I agree. Haley Lee too. You can't go wrong with either. Well, I'd like to see what our viewers would say on this one, but they're both great. Well, Sydney Sanders has found a groove.
This was actually a tie when we voted, so could go either way, really.
Yeah. And this is an award that's newcomer of the year, not over the last 2 weeks.
That's true. And
if you go through some stats, it's Haley Lee, but if you go for the last maybe month, I would say Sydney Sanders.
Let me give y'all some stats. Haley Lee batting average for the year 364, Sydney Sanders 289. And then if you go to home runs, Haley Lee 12 to Sydney Sanders 5. So stat wise, Haley Lee does have, like you said, more power, better average. But they're both really good players, and I think Sydney Sanders, like you said, just down the stretch has kind of come on a little bit. So, all right, moving on. Moment of the year for this team, guys, and this is a different kind of award. So this is just the single best moment of the year for this Oklahoma team.
This is hands down. You ask any Sooner softball fan, Sooner softball player, Sooner softball enthusiast, they would say Grace Green. When you're talking about one moment of the year that stands out, and the game at that point was over. It's not even about the game. It's about the moment that was etched in everyone's mind. A super senior, Grace Green, leaving the yard. 3-run bomb. Was it against Kansas?
Yes, sir.
And I mean, the score was way out of hand, and then the Sooners always show enthusiasm, but the amount of enthusiasm they had, the joy that they had to celebrate with Grace Green, and then Gasso's comments afterwards, moment of the year, bar none, is Grace Green, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree. And you just talk about Grace Green, as Patty Gasso said, all she's given to the program, being selfless, a leader not only on the field but off the field. And I think we talked about this, Jeremy, whenever actually this happened a couple weeks ago, that we have said that you can't have too many players like that on your team. And that's what is able to make great teams, is through the culture that's built not only on the field but off the field, and how you can have selfless individuals on such a talented team.
And if you want to give a movie comparison, that's Rudy sacking the quarterback. Although Grace Green was definitely more proven than Rudy was on the football field. I mean, she's not a bad player at all, actually. Her numbers of when she's played and the appearances she's made are not bad. It's just they're just so loaded in front of her.
Well, this year she's only batting 190. She didn't do a whole lot this year, but she just didn't play a whole lot either. All right, we're going to move on to players of the year now. Okay, guys, we're going to start off defensively. Defensive player of the year.
I'll take Grace Lyons.
Yeah, and
Don't
she just
don't have to say much on Grace Lyons. Best defensive player in the country, the best shortstop in the country, best defensive player in OU probably for the last 3 years. So
well,
there's
and
not
she
much.
just won. She just won Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. But let me give you some stats.
It was unanimous, I believe.
Yeah,
Let's
let me
hear
give you
some
some
stats
stats.
about errors and things.
Let me give you some stats, okay? So Grace Lyons had 3 errors, okay? That was a fielding percentage of 0.9 or 97.1 basically. And so she had 3 errors. Now here's what's interesting is Tiara Jennings only had 1 error. I mean, Jennings had a great year too. A lot of people did, but the thing about Lyons at shortstop is she made some great plays, but I think the chances of making errors at shortstop are a lot. I guess I don't want to say. I mean, I don't know the way to word it really, but I think the chances are higher if you making an error at shortstop just
Yeah,
because I think
I
you
would
get
say
more
they're-
plays.
I would say they're higher, partially due to the distance of the throw. That's part of it. And another part of it is also while you're at shortstop, you maybe have to be responsible for second and third and covering the inside of the field at certain points in the game.
And the other thing about shortstop in softball, the base pads are 60 feet, right? I mean, you have no time to really think. It's everything's urgent. Everything needs to be quick decisions, and no one's better than her.
Yeah.
She's
All right, moving on
always
to. Go ahead.
she's always quick when the ball comes to her. If it's turned into double play or throwing it to first, she's just so quick.
Yeah, she is. She's just a really solid. I mean, just solid.
And a thing that's super underrated about Grace Lyons that is really underrated in for a lot of great athletes in sports is how well they do the simple things. It really is just she does the simple things so well that she makes the harder plays look easy just because of how routinely she does everything.
Yeah. All right, moving on to Offensive Player of the Year.
I'll take Jada Coleman.
Yep. I mean, I'm trying to remember. Did we all say Jada Coleman, or was there a couple of Tiara Jennings?
There was a couple Tiara.
I think the majority of us said Jada Coleman. Now, this is super hard. There's an argument for both. There's even an argument really for I would also say Alyssa Brito.
That's one I agree.
Hey, let me read y'all something real quick. Okay? I'm going to read you some stats. Okay? So we have Jada Coleman, 439 batting average. Tiara Jennings, 430, very similar. At bats, 139 to 142, very similar. Hits, they both had 61 hits. Okay. Home runs, Jada Coleman 13, Tiara Jennings 12. RBIs, Coleman 40, Tiara Jennings 52. Now, part of that is because of the leadoff batter, but Jada Coleman's slugging percentage of 820, guys, 820. He led the team in home runs, tied for the lead with Brito. I mean, she as a leadoff batter, I mean, that's just
what was Brito's average, Jay?
401. She had a very good average too. Those three. And
I actually, guys, I was surprised. I did not realize she was tied for the lead in home runs, Coleman.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
It's her and Haley Lee, I believe.
No, it's her and Brito.
Oh, Brito.
Hey, and then you got Haley Lee and Tiara Jennings are
at
one
12.
behind them.
Yeah, they're both at 12. So
and I would say why I would solely give the upper advantage to Jada Coleman is due. I believe it was the month of April she had. It was March or April. I don't remember. Jeremy, maybe you could help me. But she was just on a.
Hey, Jackson.
What?
It was probably Texas.
Well, no, I'm talking about the whole month as a whole, but there was a month
Oh.
where her batting average was like 600.
Well,
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
mean-
sure we're going to have some viewers on here with the Tiari Jennings because Tiari Jennings did lead the team in RBIs. I mean, they are. I mean, you could go either one of them really, but that's going to move us on to most improved player of the year for this Oklahoma Sooner softball team.
All right, I'll take this. I'll go ahead and say it. I'll give this girl some praise. I know I may be known as a official hater to some on the Sooner Surge from earlier in the year for my comments, but it goes to Nicole May. I think this year it's kind of been, we've been waiting, like we've seen the flashes. The consistency has not been there. This year we've seen a full year of a consistent, great Nicole May. She's really is debatably the best pitcher on the team right now. And people would consider her overall with talent the third best. It's just a true statement. And the one thing I'm going to watch for Nicole May is how she's able to perform in the postseason, because I have no doubt that she can do it, but it's just a matter of will she do it?
Yeah, that's a great point. And that's why I'm hoping in the Big 12 tournament that, they play 2 games. If they just win them both, they're the champions. But I'm hoping she gets one of the starts just because it is a postseason type atmosphere to see how she. We'll see if they go with Ball and Stracco or Ball and May or whoever they're going to go with. But Nicole May this year, guys, if you look at her percentage of strikes, I mean, it's especially first pitch strikes, guys. I mean, she led the team in ERA. I mean, we'll get this a little bit more when we talk about pitcher of the year, but yeah, she's the other one I think you could put in consideration for most improved would be Brito.
Oh, Brito.
Yeah.
Got to be on there. Defensively, guys. Defensively, how much better is Brito than I thought she was going to be? Is light years better than I thought. She's playing a great third base.
Yeah.
Well, Oklahoma defensively is strong everywhere on the field, but shortstop and third base and center field, those are your 3, and catcher. Those are your 4 strongest defensive positions on the team. I don't think it's very close.
And I'm trying to think, does Brito make much errors? I don't think I've ever seen her make an error.
Well, on the year, Brito had, let's see here,
2.
She had 2 errors.
2 errors.
She had 2 errors. That's not bad at all. I mean, that's really good. So, all right, guys, we have 2 more awards to give out. We're going to go with MVP, the most valuable player to this Oklahoma softball team.
Okay, I'll take
all this. Oh, Braden, you want it or me?
I'll take it.
Okay.
I like Jada Coleman.
Yeah, and we talked about this
because what I like about her being the MVP, she's always hyped. She's always playing her game. She gets the fans going. That's that's just me. I don't know about y'all.
And do you want to know what, Braden? I'll sum that all up into one word, what you just said. #dog. She's a dog on the field. And there's another player on this team that's a dog that we haven't gotten to yet. But Jada Coleman, just like you said, she brings the energy. She brings the fire to the team. And you always need a player or 2 like that on your team.
Yeah.
Because like I remember last year when I went to the Women's College Softball World Series, the player I was most excited to watch was Jada Coleman due to the energy he brought to the game.
Hey. Well, and that's right. When you talk about MVPs, you talk about players that when they're out of the lineup, it affects just because they're not in it. And she's one of those. And one thing we haven't mentioned about her real quick is she's 14 for 14 on stolen bases.
Yeah. Hey, well, let me and I agree with Jada Coleman as far as valuable. Being the leadoff hitter it's a different animal than batting in the 3-hole. Okay. There's a little more pressure. You don't have maybe as many on base. You have to kind of start the game off and try to get the pressure of getting, runners on base early. But I'm going to mention someone that hasn't been mentioned at all tonight. she's not the MVP, but she is really when she hasn't played, there's been a difference, especially early in the year, and it's Kinsey Hansen.
Yeah.
I just feel like you got to mention her because she's so valuable behind the plate for the pitching staff. Okay. She's got a great stick.
Yeah.
She brings passion and energy, and she's just so experienced. But I just had to throw her name out there because I got to give Kinsey Hansen some love because it's her name sometimes gets, diminished because there's so much talent around her, but she has been great. But I'm with you, Braden and Jackson, that Jada Coleman is this team's MVP.
Yeah. All right, so that moves us to, and by the way, Kinsey Hansen on the year is batting .402, guys. I mean,
yeah, that's good for her.
I mean, that's just, yeah. So let's move on to our final award here, and this one was probably the toughest to pick for the Sooner Surge, just because, I mean, you're looking at pitcher of the year here, and you're looking at 3 studs basically. Let's just call it what it is. 3 studs. Any one of these people would be the dominant pitcher on any team in the nation. Okay.
Jay,
yeah.
wait, before you do it, do you have the stats? Can you just basically read the stats of each one and not tell us who they are?
Okay, I'll do that. So we got,
and we'll pick 1, 2, or 3.
All right, one is ERA of .55. 2 is an ERA of .77. 3 is an ERA of 1.19.
3 is Jordy Ball. 1 is made to Straka.
Yeah, that's correct.
Now who would you take though?
So
me, okay. Look. This award, you guys know, she's my favorite player on the team. I'm gonna have to go with Jordy Ball, okay? And Jeremy, you already knew that was coming. Braden, Jay, you guys knew that. But if you need someone in one game out of these 3 pitchers, I think all of us can agree we're taking Jordy Ball. Okay?
Now, Jackson, this may shock y'all, but Straka, guys. Straka.
But Straka was the most proven, and she was an All-American at Michigan.
But that's
so
just
I don't know that she had.
That's just me, Jackson.
Well, hey you already know I would take May. But first off, you can't go wrong with any. And I do look, May, if you go by numbers, if you want to go by maybe who you trust the absolute most to not have a bad game. But you're right, Jackson. With the moment on the line, you go with your dogs. And I agree. I could see, and a lot of it's just the persona of Jordy Ball, just kind of the flair that she has, maybe that's different personality-wise than a Nicole May. Straka is more comparable to Jordy Ball. Nicole May is more of a silent assassin. Okay, and Jordy Ball is more of the loud assassin, I guess. But I don't know a better way of putting it, really. But I agree with you, Jackson, on that.
Yeah, and also, go ahead.
I agree with Jackson. Jordy Ball, you can just trust her when you need to. It's not she usually does not have those horrible just breakdown games.
Well, she allows a couple home runs. I mean, that's all it's really been.
That's the thing that kills her more than home runs is walks. That's her
walks.
issue.
It's control issue.
If you look at her base on balls, she walked 32 on the year.
Hey guys.
What Nicole May walk?
Nicole May walked 26.
Yeah.
Oh, that's higher than I thought.
Hey, guys.
What did Straka walk?
13.
Oh, wow.
What, Brady?
But Nicole May, her changeup is pretty sick. She can pitch.
Yeah, and so I know on this one, guys, we went back and forth on this. I think we eventually gave it to Jordy Ball. But here's what I would like to do on this one is I'd like to leave that open down there in the comments, guys. Please tell us on pitcher of the year. who would you pick for this OU softball team as pitcher of the year? So
And
leave that in the comments below. Once again, guys, this was our first annual Sooner Surge 2023 softball awards. First time we've done this. Hope y'all enjoyed it.
Hey.
Make sure you please subscribe.
Go
Hit the
ahead.
subscribe button. And also go follow us on social media. Yes, do you have something, Jeremy?
Just before we get off here, since we're talking about awards, how in the world is Patty Gasso coach of the year?
That's what I was about
What?
to say, actually. Why?
What?
Who was the other coach of the year?
The Baylor.
Baylor, which I get Baylor's much improved, but come on.
But
Yeah.
Jeremy,
Well, hey,
Jeremy.
I'm
It's a joke.
glad it wasn't
It's a
Mike
joke.
White or whatever his name is. Gosh.
hey, Jeremy, I understand what you're saying. I totally get it. But I do remember when UConn basketball used to dominate, and every year Gino Auriemma would win it, and everyone would be like, well, he's got the best players. He should win it. You do have people that say that, and they say that
I
about
get
Patty
it.
Gasso.
I get that.
They say,
And I
well,
will
she's
say
got the
this,
best
that's going to
players.
be the second round of the Big 12 tournament. Hey, speaking of, forecast tomorrow in Oklahoma City is calling for major storms, like even tornadic conditions tomorrow afternoon. They've already pushed the games up starting at 10 o'clock. They're going to try to get them done by 4 o'clock tomorrow. So,
Yep.
Yeah, so
something to watch.
And just hey, this Sooner Storm's coming, boys. I think that's all we have for
the
tonight.
surge, baby. The
Yes,
surge
sir.
forecast.
Yes, sir, boys.
Boomer.
The surge is
Boomer.
coming.
Boomer.
Hey,
Boomer.
thanks for